Welcome in. This is Ricky Reacts. This is interesting. But first, like and subscribe down here. You'll get all our other shows, all our content. Go ahead and do that. Like and subscribe right over here. You can catch me, Bill Colarulo, Silvana Kelleher on Unfiltered, 2 to 6, Monday through Friday. That's on 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia. And Ricky Reacts, this is all about Dylan McKinnon and what he feels like asking me. Now, when I say that, I don't know these questions. I may not even know the answers to these questions. Matter of fact, you may get some really screwed up answers. But we're going to start, and here's Dylan.
Okay, so last night in the All-Star game, we got a taste of the ABS system, automatic balls and strikes.
Yep.
It's clearly probably coming to the MLB, and it might not even be the challenge system. It might just be Robo Umps, automatic strike zone. What are your thoughts on that as a former pitcher?
As long as it doesn't take too long, I have no problem with it. But if there's a problem with it at all, I mean, then what happens? I mean, you got to put this whole system in every single ballpark in the major leagues. You can't just test it out in certain ballparks and see how it works, because that would be unfair to other teams. You only get a certain amount of them, which I think is good. I think the one thing that you got to take out of this, that hitter that's standing up at the plate better know what's going on and better know the strike zone to tap his helmet and say, hey, that's got to be checked. That's got to be checked. So it's going to be interesting in whether teams wait at certain times, because are you really going to do it on a strike one? I understand on a strike three call. I get it. I think that's a good thing for a strike three call. But how many are we going to see like early on in the count? You better know for sure that pitch is way out of the strike zone to kind of go after it. So, I mean, you know, when you think about it, there's certain umpires around the league. Let's not call out names, but we just saw one about a week and a half ago in a Phillies game that was absolutely the worst I've ever seen. How many times are they going to do it in a game? I mean, this guy was missing pitches on every batter. You're going to tap your helmet on every single batter, and then that kind of slows up the game a little bit. The way it has been done in the minor leagues, from what I understand, it has been done fairly quickly. It is done efficiently, and it's done like bing, bing, and then you get to the next pitch. Because as a pitcher, let's face it, you don't want to sit out there for 30, 40 seconds before throwing another pitch, although Aaron Nola might love this. They do that. He sits out there. He could fix himself, get ready to pitch, and then go on. But I don't know. It wouldn't bother me all that much unless they're kind of overdoing it and doing it constantly. That would be a little bit of a bother. But the other question is, what the hell are the umpires actually doing? I don't know.
Now, what if they just go past that and just go to where it's just automatic balls and strikes? And
I think that would be better off. I think just going to a system where it just shows up on the scoreboard, and maybe you have a call on like a PA system that says strike or something like that, so people are into it. But I think the square up at the thing, they have to make sure those squares are always perfect, because that would mean you have to do a measurement. And if you're going to do that, it would be top of the knees to right underneath the armpits. And then you have everybody's exact measurements, and the box continuously switches every single way. Because obviously Aaron Judge, think about how big Aaron Judge's strike zone would be naturally. This guy is huge to start with. I mean, it would probably be the size of my whole body would be his strike zone. That's enormous. And I don't know if they really want to go to that. That may be why they're keeping that kind of waiting in the wings to go to that. But I think at some point they're definitely going to go to that. They're probably going to go to pitching machines at some point, throwing the pitches too, because that would be more efficient. It would be a lot less cost to Major League Baseball teams.
so A-Rod said something this week saying that Rob Manfred should be in the Hall of Fame. What's one thing Rob Manfred's done for the game that you love? What's one thing he's done that you hate?
He has, I guess, sped up the games. I think that's one thing that I do like. But that's also human, because when you really think about it, who's really speeding up the games? Is that the pitcher's got to get their butts back on the mound ready to throw the next pitch? And I don't know. You know, when you think about that, I think it could have been done a long time ago. I mean, when I was playing, we were playing, 3.5, 4 hour games sometimes. That is, in this day and age, people would be leaving the ballpark in the fifth inning. I mean, that's how long some of those games used to take. And as a reliever, I appreciated it more, because, you go out to the bullpen, you sit out there for 4 hours, all of a sudden you're called into a game. That's not the easiest thing to do. You probably stretched 30 times during that one day period. So I kind of like that move. There are some things I can't stand. I think the whole let me put it this way: you can't slide into a runner anymore. You can't take out the catcher anymore. That I understand you're trying to protect people, but that was part of baseball since I was 5 years old. It was one of those things you take out a catcher if he's in your way. The catcher very easily could stand out in front of home plate and he wouldn't get hit. It's that easy. You can't take out the second baseman. So I mean, he's made the game kind of kickballish in that sense, and you know like bigger bases. The other thing, you got to take away those hand mitts, the oven mitts. Why are you wearing an oven mitt? Didn't you learn how to slide? You slide, you got kind of palms turned up so you don't break your fingers. There's so many weird rules on the base pass that I don't like. And I don't think he's done that much, to be completely honest with you. I think a lot of the players would say it because they're making so much money now that he's been fantastic and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Whatever.
Okay, so someone asked Pete Alonso for something he would change in baseball, and he said, "Let them charge the mound, let them fight without getting ejected." What do you think about that? And if you could do one weird rule change, what would you do?
All right, let's start with the hockey fight type thing. I don't mind it, but sometimes, what if it's the manager that calls in the guy to hit somebody? Then what? So you hit Pete Alonso, and the manager's got to go after him, or does he still go after the pitcher? That's where I'm a little bit confused. And I mean,
Pedro Martinez is ready to fight managers.
Trust me. Pedro, him and Don Zimmer back in the day went at it. But think about this for a second. What would happen if that pitcher goes out and starts learning Taekwondo or something, and then the hitter gets his butt whooped? Then what, Pete? Then what's going to happen? I mean, he said hockey fight. What are you going to pull the jersey over his head and start smacking him? That's fine. I don't care if he wants to go there. I kind of miss the brawls. I think they were part of baseball that actually would bring teams together. Now they're just gone. You may see guys running out every once in a while, but nothing really comes of it. Minor leagues still get into it every now and again. Rule I would change. I got two. No, just one. I'll stick with one. Position players should never pitch in a game, ever. It used to be funny, cute, but it's not anymore. It's gotten to the point where every team will do it. Every team will bring these guys in. Normally teams have 10 or 11 relievers. You're going to tell me they can't make it through a game with 10 or 11 relievers? What are these guys, babies? Getting paid a lot of money to pitch, and you're making a position player pitch. Or how about this? If in fact you make that position player pitch, the team should have to pay $1 million to that player to pitch in the game. That's what I think. Something ridiculous like that to make them stop doing it. That would be one. But in that same aspect, if you bring in a position player to pitch, you lose your at-bats the rest of the way. How's that? So basically, you bring them in the top of the ninth, you're the home team, you don't hit. You bring them in the eighth, you don't hit, game's over after that. So basically, think about this for a second. When that happens, you're throwing in the white towel anyways. You're quitting the game. So why not just make it official and throw in the white towel and say game's over? But it has to be after 7 innings, I would make it. Even maybe, I wouldn't go after 8. I would say after 7 innings. So the fans get their fill of 7 innings of baseball, and then they get their fill of nothingness.
Okay, our final one. Scotty Sheffler ruffled some feathers with a quote of his, and it particularly annoyed our friends on the morning show, John Kincaid and Andrew Salchunas.
What else is new?
I'll read you the quote. "You win it, you celebrate, get to hug my family, my sister's there, it's such an amazing moment." Then it's like, okay, what are we going to eat for dinner? Life goes on. So Scotty Scheffler is basically saying he doesn't get a lot of satisfaction from winning. He sees it as a job.
But he did say he celebrates it. So who cares? He celebrates it right when it happens. Of course you do. You get your family out there, the hugs, the kisses. The little daughter gets the hug and kiss. I think that's great. And then what? Yeah, you do. You go out to dinner, John and Andrew. You guys are babies. Those two guys, man, they will complain about anything. I mean, if they get the greatest meal in the world and the fork is on the wrong side, they would be pissed off. To me, this is ridiculous. He plays for himself and he plays for his family. I don't see anything wrong with those comments, what he does, and how he celebrates. What is wrong with that? Isn't that what most guys do? I think you get a trophy, you celebrate that, you go to dinner afterwards. Hip, hip, hooray. No big deal to me. I think it's fantastic. As a matter of fact, because the guys on the morning show don't like it, I like it even more.
Yeah, a name that was brought up that they kind of compared it to is Anthony Rendon, who obviously has a similar, but he doesn't really try.
See, I can't even go there. Anthony Rendon never even plays. So
yeah, he doesn't try.
Well, he doesn't try. He's always injured.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, probably the worst contract in Major League Baseball history, Anthony Rendon right now. I mean, topples out Taiwan Walkers. So, you know what? It is what it is. You know what? That almost sounds like jealousy to me. Almost sounds like a little bit of jealousy from you two. That's just sad. It's just sad. He wins. He's a winner. All right. Anyways, this is Ricky Reacts. And that was my reaction, especially to the morning show there at the end. Okay. Like, subscribe over here. Catch me, Savannah Kelleher, Bill Colarulo on Unfiltered, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday. Listen up. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia. See you next week.
What's up, everybody? It's Bill Colarulo from Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we post a ton of content. It's not just what you hear on air. We're posting content all day long. We do some things before the show, after the show, even stuff during the show. So subscribe, like, do whatever you got to do. We got all this content coming to you every single day.